Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be reading another Harry Potter fanfic. So let's start. Harry Potter, Chosen One. Harry and Hayden are twins. Hayden is presumed to be the boy who lived while Harry is forgotten. Harry lives with the Dursleys. Hayden lives with his parents. Separated for 6 years, the Potter twins reunite at Hogwarts. That is basically the basic meaning of the story. So let's start. Harry Potter, Chosen One, Chapter 1. Life at Private Drive was as normal as it could be expected. Each house had perfectly cut lawns and neat flower gardens. The grass was emerald green from constant care and regular watering, and the flowers bloomed normally. Nothing was out of place, and if it was quickly corrected. Anything particularly good was smiled upon, such as anything abnormal was frowned upon. It was number 4 in particular that received both facial expressions. Mr. and Mrs. Dursley, 6 years previously, had taken in their 5-year-old nephew after he had been abandoned by his parents. Such kindness was often discussed in Privet Drive as a good example to follow. However, the young 5-year-old, with his scruffy black hair and abnormal eyes, was instantly seen as a troublemaker and a bad influence for the children in the neighborhood. As the years went by, quiet little Harry became more withdrawn and distrustful of adults. His teachers in school pitied him, but after a few words from the Dursleys ceased to pay attention to the neglected child. Harry's appearance also caused the parents on Privet Drive to hurry their old children along, away from the troublemaker. His hair had rarely been washed and sat on top of his head like a messy bird nest. His clothes, having once belonged to his overweight cousin Dudley, were several sizes too big for him, but adequately hid the livid dark bruises that covered his malnourished body. Much went on inside number 4 that wasn't known to the outside world. Vernon Dursley, director of Grummins, to all outside appearances, the perfect gentleman, was an abusive alcoholic. Ever since Harry had been dumped on his doorstep in the middle of the night, he had been growing steadily angrier and more hateful to his nephew. After a bad day at work, he'd ensure that Harry didn't eat anything for dinner and instead ate his share himself. As such, Vernon Dursley had become a fairly large and intimidating man. When starving his nephew gave him no satisfaction, Mr. Dursley began to use his fists and other household objects, such as the belt or a spoon. He never left a mark on the child's face that would have aroused unnecessary questions, but any part covered by the clothing was fair game. Petunia Dursley, Harry's mother's sister, was the prim and proper housewife. She was fairly tall and could be described as bony. Her brown hair, in direct contrast to her husband's blonde, was cut short and curled to keep out of her way when she worked. However, despite being known as a housewife, Petunia Dursley rarely lifted a finger in the direction of housework since her nephew had turned up. From cooking to cleaning to gardening, young Harry did it all and was severely punished if his chores weren't completed on time. Dudley Dursley, only a few months older than Harry, was almost as large as he was tall. His parents gave him everything he wanted and wanted to make Harry more and more jealous. His blonde hair, like his father's, was plastered to his chubby face, and his numerous chins wobbled grotesquely whenever he ate. Harry, in direct contrast to his relatives, was malnourished and sickly pale. His bedroom was the cupboard under the stairs, when he often went to find solitude and a small reprieve from the family. Despite being almost 11, Harry looked closer to his age of 8. So this is it for today, guys. We will meet tomorrow.